Please join me for Ask the Good Doctor, live today and every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 noon Central Standard Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bring your questions.
Hello, hello. It's Wellness Wednesday. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, and welcome to Ask the Good Doctor. I'd like to welcome you to my new studio in the making, and that's one of the things that I want to have a discussion with you today. So don't mind it as we're getting it all together, but this is my new studio. So it won't look exactly like this moving forward, but you'll see. We're getting it together. I want to welcome you today. And the last time I had a conversation with you, I invited you to join on this new year with the prospect of laying down the weight, mind, body, and spirit, something you know that you needed to lay down. Well, I want to share with you today, first and foremost, right here, what I have laid down. What I have laid down is really pretty personal. So I'm coming to you from a personal aspect today. First, the one thing that I needed to lay down this year was worry. Yeah, I needed to lay down worry because I have been for many years extremely worried about my mother living in Chicago and me living in Pennsylvania. I have been worried about that for quite some time. And my mother developed the disorder of silent seizures, and in addition to aging. And I just felt that it was just a combination that needed me to have more eyes on it. So I have been doing a great amount of running up and down the highway, driving 10 hours from Pennsylvania to Chicago, and even flying 10 times last year. Not to mention how many times I drove. I flew 10 times to Chicago in the middle of a pandemic to check on my mother, because every time she went up, I was dialing 1-800-SOUTHWEST. So thank you, Southwest, for those miles. Because last time I checked, I only have one mother. And the worry of my phone ringing in the middle of the night and someone calling me from the swanky senior building that she lived in to advise me of something being wrong with her or needing to be taken to the hospital. It was just building and building. And it's not that I was buying trouble, and it wasn't like I wasn't getting a good night's sleep either, but I was getting a good night's sleep always with the prayer that I could maintain the sleep, with the hope that I would not get that phone call or wake up to a phone call about something that had happened. I needed to make sure that I maintained a good night's sleep. And I was getting a good night's sleep, and I do get a good night's sleep. The worry, though, that was looming over my head every single day, the what ifs, the leaving my mother okay, and then almost as soon as I get back in town, finding out she's no longer okay, needing to go back, needing to take her to doctor's appointments because she wasn't really grasping everything that was being said in a doctor's appointment, which is vitally important when you get 83. It's actually vitally important when you're 23. Pay attention to what the doctor is saying. So I was paying attention to all of these things, knowing that we're getting to the point where my mother's going to need to come to live with me. Well, she didn't want to come to live with me because she didn't want to leave good old Chicago for a dirt road, and I don't exactly blame her, but I love the dirt road, but that doesn't mean that my mother needed to. So there was always this between the two of us, and she always said that the only way you'll get me up there in that mountain is if I don't know I'm there. Well, let me say to you all something. Words are very powerful, because the other day when my mother was here, she asked me, "Where am I again?" And I thought, she said that. She said that. And I said, "Mommy, you're with me. You're at my home. You're home. This is your home too now." "Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right." I am indeed laying down the weight of that worry. I have my mother home in my house with me, and it was a magnanimous feat of God to follow every instruction given so that we could accomplish this move successfully. And now I am at peace. But I had to lay aside also my little cushy life, my little conveniences, the things that make us oh so comfortable. But one thing's for sure in my household, and I'm grateful that my daughter has seen this as we have raised her up, is my mother used to always say one thing: there's always room for one more. There's always room for one more. And who would have ever thought that we would have had to make room for her to be the one more? We've had many family members and friends live with us on a temporary basis through the years, but this was different this time, moving in my mother, who wants everything just so, she doesn't white glove test. No, she's not that anal, but she is a teacher of 33 years. And there's just a certain expectation. So I knew I had to lay aside some things. I had to, and the weight, though, of what I was carrying without her being here, it was oh so necessary for me to do it. They call people like me members of the sandwich generation. The sandwich generation. That is when a person is caring for their children. I have a child, still a teenager for a few more days, and aging parents. That's me. That's what I am doing. I am caring for children and aging parents. So I'm right smack dab in the middle. And it's an honor for me to be able to care for my mother. And I want to share with you some steps that you need to ensure that are in place before you embark on this. And I'm just thankful that it wasn't an emergency move, that we're moving you today. And I am grateful that it wasn't a move that I had to make the decision. She made the decision. And you know what? She didn't ask the question, "Can I come live with you?" She didn't ask that because she knew she would be welcome. Okay, the environment was set for her to be welcome because that's my mommy. The one who raised me up, the one true queen, the original superwoman with the S on the chest, the one I watched do amazing things. She was always welcome, and I always let her know that. So when it was time, all she did was say, "I don't think I should be living by myself anymore." And I said, "Mommy, those are the magic words, and you don't have to. Come on, let's go. Let's go." And she said, okay. And here we are. And here I am in my new little studio in a basement that's frigid with a fireplace that I bought that I was supposed to keep this square footage warm, and it's not, taking it back because I'm shivering. But like I said, I've laid down every little convenience of my little cushy life. And so what's a little discomfort for my mommy? What kind of discomforts did she face raising up children in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, as a single parent? After my father literally went to the store to get a pack of cigarettes and didn't come back. Save that story for another time. But what kind of obstacles did she face? What kind of conveniences did she lay down? She laid down a lot. So I'm grateful today to be able to share with you. I want to let you know from the How to Do Anything website, they have some really, really good tips on what you can expect and what you should do when you bring home a parent to your home. And the first thing is that you have to learn is that you must be able to deal emotionally. So I did a whole lot of crying, knowing that we're coming to this moment, because let's face it, you all, this moment is only a rev up to the inevitable, which is the end. I'm savoring, I'm cherishing, I'm feeling honor that I'm the child that was chosen for her to come home with. So there are a mixed bag of emotions going down. And I'm confronting everyone head on. So sorry I don't look my best today, but oh well, this is it. This is what it is today. So from the How to Do Anything website, they say you've got to be able to wrangle with yourself emotionally. Touche. I agree with that 100%. We have to set ground rules concerning how you and your parents will live together. Ain't that the fact? That's the truth, because we're setting rules regarding daily household activities that will need to be adjusted under the new arrangements, such as eating dinner together, spending time out of the house, or watching television. Now, the watching television thing is a big thing. Our house here, we have an open concept, and we downsized from a really big house about 5 years ago. And the one thing that we thought we liked was the open concept. I'm here to tell you I hate that, okay? Because my husband commandeers the television. He's Mr. TV. And I'm always like, turn that down. Can you turn that down? Can you change the channel? That's a little disturbing. I don't want to watch that. And so now that mommy's here, I have to make the announcement. Mommy's on her way down. Could you please find something else? Oh, yeah, sure. He'll do it. No problem. He's not an ogre about it. He doesn't mind changing the channel, but it's just the breaking out of certain habits, and the television is definitely one of them. And there are certain chores now that we know need to be done prior to her waking up and as she gets ready to go to sleep. We've had to make sure that we are succinct in accomplishing those things without fail. And also, you know how when you're living somewhere or just in your everyday life, there are certain things that you put off because you say, I can live with a little chili in the basement, or I can live with the fact that those stairs are broken, or I can live with these kinds of things around the house that you know need to be done that you don't deem an emergency. Well, let me tell you, the minute you have a senior person come to live with you, all of those things start running around in your head. You think, oh my gosh, they can't deal with the fact that the step is broken. Oh my gosh, we got to get this fixed and that fixed. And it's been a whole lot of that going on in my house. All right. So consider that as well as you bring a person into your home. You have to be willing to put yourself first from time to time. This is important. Now, these people say this on the How to Do Anything site, and I say that too, that you have to put yourself first, period, or you're of no use to anyone else. You can't be an effective caregiver if you're not also taking care of yourself. Keep an eye on your own mental and emotional health. And isn't that what we try to do? This is what I've been trying to teach. Keep an eye on how you're feeling, mind, body, and spirit, and confront it head on. Don't run from it. You cannot conquer what you do not confront. It's inevitable that you will crash and burn if you don't. Next one. Don't expect gratitude or praise if your parent has dementia or Alzheimer's. That's true. Don't expect praise, period. It's your turn now. It's my turn now to take care of my mother. It's my turn. There's this book, actually, Odell, I can't think of Odell's last name right now, but he wrote a book. It's My Turn Now. Brilliant piece of work. Read it. And if you're unsure, but there's that adage that one mother took care of 5 children and 5 children can't take care of one mother. Where are the rest of the children? Okay. There's always going to be one in the family, or if you're the only one in the family, you are the one who's expected to take care of the parent. All right. And that's okay too, because in my opinion, in my estimation, we should. Give yourself a break when you need it to avoid burnout. Let me tell you, I've already built that in. Yes, I have. Ultimately, being a caregiver for elderly parents is a marathon and not a sprint. Exactly. Because you never know when the last day is. So treat every day as if it is. And if the parent, in my case, my mother does not have a terminal diagnosis. She's not on hospice. 3/4 of the time she's in her good mind. And the other quarter of the time when she's not in her good mind, she snaps out of it and we crack up laughing, which is great. The one thing that's really essential, though, is to establish a care network. And I even did that before she got here. I contacted the company that I used to be a hospice chaplain with, because they also have home health, and they're going to come and do an assessment so that I can be covered on days when I need to work. I still work. And y'all might not think this is work, but this is work. Okay. I still work, and I still have a social life. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic, but yes, I have a social life. I have 2 friends who they've been quarantined, I've been quarantined, and we steal away to a place that we know that's quiet in the booth in the back. All right. And I do that. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I've already established are days that I'm going to tip at, that I am going to have coverage, pay for help. We have to recognize what our limitations are and when we need outside help. Identify friends and family. You can ask for help when you need it. I agree with that. You have to be able to do that. It's called assembling the village. You must assemble a village to help. It takes an entire village to raise a baby, and it takes an entire village to take care of an aging senior person. Then the licensed nursing assistant can handle real medical issues. Now, here is where, in my opinion, the Black community falls completely apart. The Black community falls short right here, because we think we can love anybody through anything. While we need love and we need to show love and extend love, you cannot love a person through stroke rehab, cardiac rehab. You cannot. Please take your loved one to rehab. You cannot love them through, now pack them up, bring them home. They don't need to go to no rehab. I'll rehab them. You will not. You do not know what to do. Get the help of a professional, please. This is the difference between recovering fully from a stroke and just barely recovering. Okay? This is the difference between the heart being back to being fully operational and just being partially operational. Understand your limitations. You can't love them through it. Get help from a professional. Seek out legal assistance in putting together the parents' affairs in order. Excuse me. Those are cousins calling to speak to my mother right there. Okay? Because my mother is the last living sibling out of 15. Okay? So all of my first cousins, and there are 28 of us, first cousins, they love them some Auntie Nanny. That's what they call her. So they call every day. Anyway, I digress. As I was saying, assemble a legal team. The legal team is important. I'm going to tell you why. The 7 bad words of estate planning are, but Mama said I could have. But Daddy said I could have. Deadly, lethal, bad words in estate planning. Okay? Take care of the business. Okay? Like I said, just don't love them up, snuggle them up, crawl in the bed with them, hug them up. Do that too. But handle the business. Seek professionals. Tend to your parents' needs by stocking up on good food. The good food is really important because nourishment is vital. And that's in keeping with what we teach here on the Good Doctor Show. My mother had lost 10 pounds, but in a 40-day period. That's too much. She wasn't eating properly. She was calling a boiled egg and toast and was not hungry for the rest of the day, or was sleeping away the rest of the day because of being over-medicated. Mind those medications too. Don't be afraid to tell the doctor what's going on, because you may very well find that your loved one is being over-medicated. My mother was severely over-medicated for her seizure disorder, and it had to be corrected right away. So I started. Now she's on once every 3 days, and that is enough in her bloodstream to help manage seizures. Okay? I wanted to bring all of these things to you today because this is what I have laid down. I would love to hear from you about what you've laid down. Maybe it's not worry like me. I mean, now I am sleeping like a brick knowing my mother is down the hall. It makes all the difference in the world. And the worry is gone. There's an adage that says, if you're going to pray, why worry? If you're going to worry, why pray? Well, I was worrying and doing 10 times more prayer. But I have to tell you that the way has been made a whole lot easier. So I've laid aside conveniences. I've laid down comfort for my mother's comfort. What have you laid down? Share with me. I want to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I want to thank my team, IW supervising producer, Chris Green, technical producer, and announcers, DJ Indy and Chris Brown. That does it for me. To let your eyes shine, cut back on the wine, get good food fast, and go easy on the greasy. Until next time, I'm here to help you attain and maintain your perfect health. Let's do it again next week, okay? God bless you.